Hi, my name is Chris Melnick, and I'm a realtor in Halifax, Nova Scotia. And these are 10 more obscure facts that you probably didn't know about Nova Scotia. Part 3. Number 1. Technically, the Queen of England, who passed away last year, is still listed as an owner of Point Pleasant Park. And for those who don't know, Point Pleasant Park is like Nova Scotia's Central Park and is the most prime land in the province. England is still paid 1 shilling a year in rent, and the lease expires in 2865. Number 2. You were only able to shop on Sundays starting October of 2006. Prior to this, there was a ban of retail shopping and even buying groceries on Sundays. They conducted an experiment in 1993 to see if people liked the idea of shopping on Sundays, but decided against it at that time. It eventually took them another vote for them to overturn this. To put this into perspective, when Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire and the Da Vinci Code were released, you still weren't allowed to shop on Sundays in Nova Scotia. Number 3. Newsprint was invented in the upper and lower Sackville area of Nova Scotia. That's right, not New York, Chicago, Boston, or London, but somewhere around upper and lower Sackville. In 1844, Charles Fennerty perfected the process of turning wood pulp to paper. He took a sample of his invention to a local newspaper, the Acadian Reporter. Now, he never filed any patents on his invention, but coincidentally, a German guy did the year after, and most credit him as the inventor of newsprint. Number 4. Nova Scotia means New Scotland in Latin. Now, you may have known that, but you may not have known that it's the only province or territory in Canada to have a Latin name. And why Latin, you may ask? Well, apparently in the 1600s, and when Nova Scotia was named, the in thing was to name things in Latin, because it was the language of scholars and just sounds more sophisticated. Number 5. The first controlled powered flight in Canada was the Silver Dart in 1909 in Baddock, Nova Scotia. The Silver Dart was designed by Alexander Graham Bell and had a V8 engine. It flew 800 meters at about 65 kilometers an hour. They were using a sandy runway with lots of holes though, and during a later landing in 1909, a wheel got stuck and the plane crashed, never to fly again. Number 6. 2 of the 5 biggest banks in Canada were founded in Nova Scotia. RBC, which is the largest bank in Canada by market cap, was founded in Halifax in 1864. It was originally called the Merchant Bank of Halifax. Next, the Bank of Nova Scotia, or Scotiabank, is the 3rd largest bank in Canada by market cap and was founded in Halifax in 1832. Interestingly enough, they opened a branch in Jamaica in 1889 to help with the trade of sugar, rum, and fish. Number 7. There were actually 2 cursed bridges connecting Halifax to Dartmouth in the 1800s, but not at the same time. Where the Mackay Bridge is now, a low bridge was built in the late 1800s, but people who didn't like the bridge put a curse on it. And it coincidentally was later destroyed during a storm in 1891. Then a replacement bridge was quickly built, but it mysteriously sank one night in 1893. Then they didn't really bother trying again until 1955, when they had the curse lifted at that time, and they built the McDonald Bridge. The Mackay Bridge was later built in 1970. Number 8. 200 million years ago, present-day Nova Scotia was next to present-day Africa, when there was the supercontinent Pangaea. Over millions of years, it shifted to where it is today. Number 9. One of the tallest wood buildings in North America is in Nova Scotia and was built in 1905. This is very impressive, as it used to be the case where wood buildings weren't built over 6 stories tall, or about 60 feet. In fact, it's only been until fairly recently that by using state-of-the-art mass timber technology, that wood structures have been built taller. A celebrated example is called Brock Commons in Vancouver, and was completed in 2017 at a height of 58 meters. Yet, the Église Sainte-Marie in Church Point, Nova Scotia, was originally built to a height of 60.6 meters tall, and it was built in 1905. Number 10. A UFO sank in Shag, Harbour, Nova Scotia. On the night of October 4th, 1967, countless people from all over Nova Scotia were reporting strange lights in the sky, later crashing into the water. This included an Air Canada pilot, people in Mahone Bay and Halifax, and even fishermen in Sambro. Now, all private and military aircraft were accounted for, but for good measure, they conducted an underwater search, and they found nothing. So this actually goes down as a Nova Scotian UFO, or unidentified flying object. Anyways, if you found Nova Scotia so interesting that you want to move here and buy a house, feel free to contact me. My contact information is in the description. Goodbye.